Okay, in this part of our lesson, we are going to be given our linear function and we are going to write it in slope-intercept form. And all we just simply need is to identify the slope and then identify the y-intercept. So our y-intercept is 0, -3. That's here. Now to find slope, we need to locate one other point, and it looks like here's a nice point, and here's a nice point where they meet on the corners of the grid. Now remember, when you find slope, you're going to work from left to right. So if I use this point, I need to start here and work my way toward the right. So the slope is rise over run. So I'm going up 1 and to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our slope is 1/5, and we simply put that together. Y equals our slope of 1/5 times x plus the b, which is -3. And it's that easy. Okay, here in this equation, we have a y-intercept at 0, 3. Again, we're writing it in y equals mx plus b form. Our slope is going to be negative, so here's a point, here's a point. We have several to choose from. So I'm just going to start at this point and work my way from left to right. But remember, we do the rise first. So I'm going down 1, 1, 2, so that's -2, and to the right 1. So our slope is -2/1. And when I write it in my equation, I'm not going to put the 1 in the denominator. It's understood. So I'm just going to say y equals -2x, and it's a +3. Okay, we have a y-intercept of 0, -2, and locate one more point. I'm just going to locate 1. So I'm going to start to the left and work to the right. We're going to do the rise first. Up 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3/4. So it's y equals mx plus b, and it was -2. Here is that vertical relation, this vertical line. It has an undefined slope. It does not go through the y-axis, so there is no, I'm not going to put a 0, I'm going to put NA is fine. There is no y-intercept, so it simply is x equals, and it passes through 2. All of these ordered pairs, the x coordinate is 2. Oops. And so forth. Here is our horizontal line with a y-intercept of 0, -3. The slope is neither going up or down, so it has a 0 slope, and we say y equals, and it would be 0x -3, but we don't need this because 0 times x is nothing, so we can just say y equals -3. In all of these ordered pairs, the y value is -3. And even over here, so this would be -2, -3. Okay, now we are going to be writing the linear function, not from a graph, but from a table. And so the first thing when we look at this table, the thing I am going to try to identify first is, am I given the y-intercept? The y-intercept, guys, is the ordered pair where x is 0. So I have been given the y-intercept because here x is 0 and the y is 5. So that is very good news because there's not really much math to do. We just have to identify the slope. So I'm going to choose just the first 2 points. You can choose any 2 points. And this takes us back to the previous lesson. And it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then I like to do keep, change, change. And again, you can use calculators in this unit. So this is going to give a change of 3. And then this is going to be a change of 1. So our slope simply is just 3. We put that together and we have y equals 3x plus 5. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. And again, the first thing that I'm going to look for is, have I been given the y-intercept? And I look for where x is 0, and I've been given that. So right here, x is 0. This is your b value. This is your y-intercept, 0, 6. And so I'm going to identify the 0, 6, my b value. And now we're going to just pick any 2 points to find slope. Remember, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this gives us -1, keep, change, change. So our slope is -1 over 2. The equation is y equals -1/2 times x plus 6. Okay, in this function table, I'm looking to see if I have the y-intercept, and I do. 0, -1. I'm going to use the first 2 points, and we're going to find slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So our slope is 2 over 3. So we write this as y equals 2 over 3x minus 1. Okay, now here we have no 0 for x, so we don't have the b value. So the first thing and the only thing we can really do at first is find slope. So I'm just going to use -8, and -7, 6. y2, 6 minus 8 over -7 minus -8. Keep, change, change, -2, keep, change, change over 1. So this gives me simply -2. Now, watch this carefully. Here is slope-intercept form. I have the slope m, -2. I do not have b. I don't know what b is. That's what we're going to find out. What is the value of b? In order to find what this value is, I need a number for x and a number for y. We can get a x and y value from our ordered pairs because this line we're creating goes through all of these ordered pairs. So we can pick any of these. And so I will just simply pick the top one. You can pick any. So for x, we're going to plug in -8. So we have -2 for the m. For x, we're going to put in -8. For the y value, go ahead and rewrite that. For the y value, we are going to plug in 8. When x is -8, y is 8. And now we're going to do the math. We're going to solve for b. So this is 8 equals -2 times -8 is 16. So let me bring this up here. We need to get b isolated, so we subtract 16 from both sides. And b is -8. So 0, -8 is the y-intercept. We put that together, y equals -2 times x minus 8. Okay, let's do another one. Again, when I'm given a function table to write the equation, I'm looking to see if I've been given the y-intercept where x is 0. I have not. So the next thing that we can do is we can choose 2 points. So I'm just going to do -5, 18, -4, 14. So let's find slope. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is -4. This is +1. Our slope is -4. So we have y equals -4x plus b. We don't know b. So we can choose any point. This time I'm just going to use -1, 2. So I'm going to plug in -1 for x, we don't know b. I'm going to plug in 2 for y. I'm going to multiply this, and now we're going to isolate b. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and b is -2, so 0, -2 is the y-intercept. We put that together. Y equals -4x minus 2. I do not have the y-intercept. I don't have where x is 0. I'm going to find slope. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Keep, change, change. Keep, change, change. Y equals 2 over 3x plus b. Let's choose any ordered pair. It does not matter. Okay, I'll just choose this one here. So for x, we are going to plug in -6. For y, we're going to plug in -12. So always make sure you plug in to the right spot. -12 equals, and again, you can use a calculator, but I can divide this nicely. 3 divides into -6, -2 times, and -2 times 2 is -4 plus b. But again, in your calculator, you could use the n over d feature and say 2 over 3 times -6. Now we're going to isolate. We're going to add 4 to both sides, and b is -8. So 0, -8. We put that together, y equals 2 over 3x minus 8. I do not have the y-intercept because I don't know when x is 0. So let's find slope, 8, -1, and 12, -2. -2 minus -1 over 12 minus 8. Keep, change, change. This gives me -1 over 4. So we have -1 over 4 for our slope. So that's y equals -1 over 4 times x plus b. So I'm just going to let's just use this first point. For x, we're going to plug in 8. We don't know the b value. And for y, it's -1. So a negative times a positive is going to be negative, and 1/4 times 8 is 2. A fourth of 8 is 2 plus b. Now let's isolate the b. We're going to add 2 to both sides, and b is 1. So at 0, 1, the line crosses on the y-axis. Then we put this together. And I hope this helps.